All right, what's up, everybody? Ave Satanas, hail Satan, hail yourself. If you're not already, make sure you're subscribed for more content like this. All right, help your boy out. Best way that you could possibly help me and my channel, my Facebook page, is by following me. All right, like that's the best thing you can do. So, anyway, continuing on with my series I have going with working with deities. I am now going to talk today about my personal daemon and how I met him or her, whatever it is. But I think in the astral world, sex really doesn't matter. Like that's a human thing, male, female. I don't know. I'm not 100% sure on that, but I'm pretty sure that it's a him because looking at it from a male's, like a human's perspective, it's got a lot of male traits to it, from what I can see. But how I met my daemon was first of all, I started working with Lucifer. Lucifer is my patron. Now, it was through working with different temples, different groups, working with the clip off, and ultimately wanting to learn necromancy, spirit communications, because I already have a natural knack for that. uh Astral projections, lucid dreams, all this stuff, you know, that comes natural to me ever since I was a little kid. That working with Hecate started introducing me to like Niyama, Lilith, uh then eventually my personal daemon, who I call Sunny. Now it's very interesting that I call him, he wants me to call him Sunny. First of all, my name is Jay Sun. I had an uncle, Sonny. My last name is Summers. That is my last name. So Summer being representative of the sun. My patron is Lucifer, the morning star, little sunshine, right? So all this, the the light bearer. So all this, and when he told me call him Sonny, I was like, no, yeah, of course you absolutely would tell me to do that. I had an uncle Sonny, by the way. I never actually knew him. He died in prison. He so that's gonna be for another topic about working with your ancestors. Some of your ancestors you don't want to just work with, let any of them in. Some of them are real pieces of shit. Some of them are murderers. Some of them were, had a lot going on, alcoholics, drug addicts, and you go ahead and inviting these energies in, and all of a sudden, like why am I eating ribs? Like why am I craving pork? I don't eat pork. Why is that? That's because your uncle Charles, whoever, used to drink a lot of beer and eat pork pork chops and pork ribs of craving bacon and ham all the time, is now living through you and using you as a vessel, making you out of pocket. You are possessed by this spirit that you just freely welcome in because they're your ancestors. Gotta think about these things, guys. Not every, you don't want all this energy invited into you. You gotta keep what you want selected, right? And that will be a uh spirit communications videos, how I work with spirits and start my own spirit team. That'll be a whole nother video. But Sunny, okay. So what happened this particular day? I was sitting in this chair. I'm in my garments. I got candles out. I got my skulls out, all my crystals, belt. Everything's all set up. And I come across this working with one of the temples that I'm working in, and it's telling me to do this meditation. Now, this meditation was working with Lucifer, and it was supposed to go in a whole different direction. Lucifer and Hecate together ended up taking me through, like it was a pit. It was just a big sunken big black hole. Like imagine if a asteroid smashed into the earth and it's just a 2 mile foot crater in the dirt. That's what it was like. And I'm looking up out of this thing, and they ended up pulling me out of this. And as soon as I get out, there is this door. It's it's glowing purple from the seams, and I I knew for some reason that I needed to walk through this door. Right. So I opened it, and as I walk in, I automatically I am now onto this huge mountainside that's overlooking like your typical what you think hell looks like. Flowing river of fire and uh, all that. Like things like fire like bursting up from the river, all this gloom and doom, dark, heavy, black smoke everywhere, right? And there's in front of me. Now I'm 6 foot, I'm almost 6 foot three. I'm 6 foot three, 270 pounds. I'm a big guy. This thing stood way over top of me by at least a head. Like it's like I came up to probably right here. So this thing was probably on the best of 8 foot tall. And then he had these big horns that just came up. These big two horns that came up. Not real big, but big enough. Like big foot spikes. I don't know if it came out sideways or if they came out more this way because I'm looking up at. I can't really get a good view. And this thing's shoulders. It looked like a minotaur. Is what it looked like. It had legs like a horse, but it's bipedal, standing up. Had I don't know if it was like a cloth or if it was just a lot of hair, like matted down. I don't know. I wasn't looking at his junk. I was looking at. I couldn't stop looking at this thing. I didn't know. I was just telling myself to be cool, man. Like everything's gonna be fine, right? And but if you saw this, and not being prepared for something like this, first time you see it, you are gonna. There's gonna be two movement, a bowel movement and a physical movement. You getting the hell up out of there. It's like it was. This thing is huge. The man's shoulders were like this big, right? And arms, very massive arms. And it didn't have hands. It had more like hooves, but it could move them like almost like claws. Very strange. Something you don't see every day. Definitely take it like that. And its face was more man. It had man and like horse face. Like it was his face protruded out, but it would like look like a human. But like if you turn sideways, you could tell like it truded out more here at the skull. Very black eyes. Um, and I didn't know what to make of this. I didn't know where I was going. I was just so in shock with him. And he's talking to me telepathy. Like either I knew just what he was trying to say, or like speaking telepathy to me. And he let me know as long as I am with him, as long as I'm walking with him, like working with him, walking with him, a metaphor, that this area, this fire of chaos that's burning around me, I will not be touched by and bothered by anything of this. Like the flames would not bother me, will not burn me. Uh, it looked like the very few people that I saw had a hard time breathing down there. I could see it just looked like a burning, like probably smelled like a burning tire down there. Was what I want to say. It probably smelled like, but I had no problem. Like breathing was not an issue with me. And he started walking, and it was from this mountain to that mountain, and there was like a big pass, something like out of Lord of the Rings almost. And you're just looking at the fire on both sides, big rock cavernous systems, and he's walking, and I'm trying to keep up with, but he's walking so he's so much bigger than me, and he's like strides, like almost like galloping, that he ends up leaving, and I'm standing there stuck on this mountain. Like he just didn't just like walk past, like he like disappeared into like another dimension. Like, he's gone completely gone. Because like this path goes as far as you can damn see, and he like just disappeared faster than what it would look like he could disappear off in the horizon. If it makes that sense, right? So I'm left on top of there, and then what I see is a kate. was standing next to me. And she told me that at this point, that 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 was your personal daemon, right? He told me to call him Sonny, but it was very made it known that's who I'm supposed to work with. That thing has always been with me, has always been with me, not only in this life, but past lives. This thing is stuck to me. And it knows everything about me. It knows more about me than me because through past lives, it knows it's always been with me. And I was in the process of making a deal with Asmodeus, right? And I'm not going to go into that hack now. But step one was made very clear that I needed to work with Sonny, get to know Sonny, build this relationship up to where I could just automatically uh, astral project from not being asleep, astral project and work with Sonny this way. Now, this has been a ongoing issue. Like it's I, since I've had two definitely other times I've had. It wasn't like that intense, but it was definitely a real encounter. And then third, possibly, I don't know if it was more in my head if I wanted it to be what I wanted to I don't know. So, but definitely two other times where I have ran into and met in Sonny. Sonny revealed a lot of things about myself. I am impatient. I I have this inner asshole. Like I am a nice guy. Like the world sees me, but I have an inner asshole that is very short tempered, very impatient, and I can look down upon people very that well they almost like they're not as knowledgeable as me, and I have this ego that I need to let go of, and but I remember also arguing. It's like I know so much more than these other people. I wish other people knew because the world would be changed. She's like, it's not up to you to pretty much how to change the world. You're not here to like save the world. That's not you. That's not your job. You need to focus on you because ultimately, my inner asshole being selfishness, I need to use that in the right way. And I wasn't harnessing my inner asshole for the right uh, scope of work to ultimately better my life, better people's lives around me, so I can ultimately get up out of this plane of existence. Because I told him I don't want to come back to this plane existence anymore. And he didn't say that I wouldn't, but he kind of looked at me like, are you kidding? Like, I don't know if it was like, oh, you're coming back here a bunch of more times because you ain't working on yourself, or like this is all that there is, bud. Don't you realize that? Like, there is no somewhere else for you to go. This is it. Just coming back, coming back, come back. Like, I don't know. That's some work in progress. But he revealed a lot of things about myself and trauma that came from my family when I was very young. I was picked on a lot as a kid. I was overweight when I was a kid. Kid, I was picked on a lot, and I ended up losing a lot of weight. And now that I'm almost 40 years old, I put and had a stroke. I put more weight on since then, but like I always carried that with me where I was not accepting of my own body. Things like this, right? I'm really sharing a lot with you guys. And it revealed a lot of things about myself, my shadow, how to work with it, sit with my inner voices because my voices need to be heard. I need to, when I have these thoughts that come out, I need to work through these things, not suppress them. I've been traumatized by relationships. We all have been. We all have had abusive relationships, right? My ex-wife, uh, I'm not going to get into all that because she's deceased and may she just rest in peace. But that was a very toxic relationship, and he told me that's not even a part of your life. You had to go through that. You had to ultimately go through that to learn your life lessons. As a matter of fact, like everything that you go through when you come across, okay, say you wake up, have a flat tire, can't go home from work, right? This is a blessing. Understand this. You need to have this mentality because this is a lesson ultimately, even on a small level, the smallest micro level that you might be inconvenienced for the next hour. or two. This is a lesson your soul needs to learn. And if you don't learn it this time, you're going to have to relearn it some other time. So you might as well think of this as a positive experience. And this is what you ultimately need to live through to gain the experience to ultimately level up from this plane of existence that we are living on. So all the hardships are actually blessings. He told me a lot of other things. I asked him like uh why are some babies uh like die in the womb? Why are other babies murdered? Like she said, well, that's their life journey, and everything has to happen in harmony. Realize that baby might not have even wanted to come onto this plane of existence. It might have said, decided that it didn't want to go this route, and then whatever contract with it worked out with the natural laws of existence that's beyond my comprehension. Or that was a lesson for the parents that they had to learn ultimately. And that little, like throwing a stone into a river, it makes that puddle, or a pond, it makes that puddle, same difference. It is the ripple effect. And one thing can change to another, the butterfly effect, okay? And it's past our own understanding. But everything is ultimately got the reasons behind it, even on the smallest level that we don't realize. Like everything he said, by the way, was like, wow, like it was a my explain. It made more sense talking to him about this than it made sense right now. Me trying to tell you what he was trying to reveal to me. Like at the time, made perfect sense. If that, if that makes sense, if you guys can follow along with me. But anyway, hit like, hit subscribe. I want to see these numbers climbing on this channel. Ave Satanas, hail Satan, hail yourself. Until next time, guys. Peace.